Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Helck episode 23, the penultimate one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, only 24 episodes. Well, only. It's a double core anyway, but yeah, it really feels like it's only 24 episodes, doesn't it? Right. What happened in the previous episode? Let's start with that. In a previous episode, quite a lot has happened, actually. First and foremost, Shalami and Asta tried to escape the castle, but they were unfortunately spotted by Rafaed, who kind of saved them from the king because Asta wanted to attack the king. The king mind controlled Shalami. Then Rafaed arrived, and apparently he can order the king around, because he told the king in no uncertain terms that he will not use this magic on Shalami. Interesting. We still have no clue what or who the king actually is, so yeah, interesting, very interesting. In the meantime, on the front lines, Azedra kept fighting Mikaros, and kind of sorta started to lose even, or rather he had to divert his energy, divert his magic to protecting the other soldiers, protecting their retreat, because Mikaros broke some seals that freed some of the heroes from King's mind control, which made them grow stronger and started to rampage around. All the while, what's her face? Hura was fighting Edil, who broke through the king's mind control through his sheer willpower, which is great because it lets us know that the mind control isn't actually absolute. So there is hope for the likes of Zelgion, Alicia, right? They can break through the mind control. Alicia would probably be the first one as soon as she sees Helck. Hopefully, maybe, we'll see. But we know there's hope. Unfortunately, Mikaros had his ways to have Edil succumb to the mind control again, also take on some weird shadow form. So Edil saved Hura, thankfully, but then was ordered to go after Mikaros, and Mikaros is after Azedra, and Azedra is currently focusing all his magic on saving his people. So he wasn't exactly able to protect himself. Mikaros is of course alive, because we can't have him die this easily, and that's where we are. And I'm honestly not sure what we're gonna see in today's episode. Hopefully a continuation of or continuation. There isn't really any time to continue Helck's and Vermilio's journey, is there? So hopefully we will see them arrive at the scene, and the big final battle will begin, to be concluded in next week's episode, and a little bit of a fallout, a little bit of summary, and that's how we will end this season, I would assume. Yeah, I guess that's basically it. I think that does it for the intro. So how about we just start watching this episode, right? To do it, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching the penultimate episode of Helck in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, we still have no clue what the fuck the power of the new world is, actually. I'm hoping for Helck ex Machina. That the sound of the sword striking could still have struck Helck's hand. I'm keeping my hope. I'm keeping my hopes up. Or Edil could have struck himself like Kless did. That's also plausible. Right, we still have no clue what's the deal with Kless. We know the king provides mind control. Mikaros provides this power of the new world. Shalami provides the snow that spreads this power around. What's Rafaed's deal? What's Shalami's deal? Maybe Rafaed's deal is that he is the bargain chip to even get Shalami to cooperate. Possible. If they were to kill Rafaed, then Shalami would just not cooperate with them. And with Rafaed, he can tell her what to do, and maybe. The chosen path. Okay, so we are going to be following Vermilio and Helck. And the Harpy. Well, shit. Can't you, jump over the broken bridge? Can the Harpy girl carry you over? There's nothing to clean up. The pot is still full. Excuse me for a moment. She really wants attention right now. Oh, that's a long time. I mean, we don't know when exactly it's taking place. There is a chance that they will arrive on time, I guess. You're just gonna sit there, aren't you? I mean, yeah, you are quite literally the spearhead. Yep. Right. When you defeat the king, the heroes are going rampant. I mean, probably, yeah. Right, Vermilio can take at least half of them, can't she? Probably. Yeah, it's not really that easy. Still with the An, huh? Okay, hopefully this is taking place during the course of like episode 21 or so, and they will actually arrive on time. Because if everything is like fully chronological, then. Well, shit. Okay, so the human forces are moving out. And she's chewing on my plant now. I swear, this cat. Interesting. So, do you not have, like, the face of the Empire right now? Why are you meowing? You got what you wanted. Yeah. Interesting that not everybody was tied up with the fight with the demons. Rafael? Why are you on the front lines exactly? So I'm guessing it is chronological. Right? Like he already dealt with Shalami and Asta, whatever that entailed. And now he's leading the armies. Mind controlling Asta and forcing her to spill the beans. They would be after Helck, yes. Probably using Shalami. Yeah, but what if he can't, though? That's gonna be real bad, isn't it? That's the hope, yes. Hide in the forest as well, so that you are not easily spotted from the air. Huh. So I guess Helck is not going to be able to save Azedra, huh? Why is Raphael reminiscing of that? Yeah, that attack is way too telegraphed. Okay, so just the gate from the whatchamacallit, from the capital wasn't the goal. That gate was supposed to be something more. And it's also a monster that you yourselves created. Let's not forget that. Okay, so like the locator spell that Azedra was using. Okay. Oh, to get a sample of his hair or something. Or blood. Sure, that also works. And that's how they know where exactly he is. That's not going to be easy. That night, I'm assuming Alicia? Yes. Who else? I still don't know why Raphael is working with them in the first place. I guess for Shalami. Yeah, to save Shalami. Oh, so they know of Helck, but they don't know of Vermilio. That's gonna give them an edge. Yeah, it's not just melee that you have to be wary of. Okay, we still have some time. I was afraid that we're ending the episode here. Now punch his head off his shoulders. Okay, why are you telling him that? Old attachments? There is nowhere that will be cut off from the war. Mikaros literally wants to end this world. Unless they get isekai'd, there is no escaping it. So sure, they can go hide somewhere on the other continent, but for how long? A year? 2 years? Until Mikaros achieves his goal? Hmm. Oh? What did she hear? Yeah, that really changes things, doesn't it? If there is something that Helck cannot do, Vermilio can step in. I would focus my attacks on Rafaed. Just, just saying, don't give him a chance to do anything. Yeah, you're acting like if Vermilio would allow herself to be struck by your sword. She's no weakling. Yeah. Who do you take her for? Yeah, Vermilio really changes a lot, doesn't it? Doesn't she? And a hopeful music. Oh, summons. Okay. The rising hopeful music, right? Yeah, but Vermilio would have to perish for that to happen. Eh, debatable. Yeah. No biggie. Now that's a biggie, though. Alicia has arrived. And she has the purple aura around her. Yeah, if there is something that can make Helck waver, it would be Alicia, wouldn't it? Green tea with rice, puffed rice. It seems like the finale won't be exactly what I expected it to be. It seems like the finale will be the fight with Alicia and Rafaed. And then maybe Helck and Vermilio will arrive at the Castle Urum, see Azildra dead, Edil dead, castle in ruins with a gate to the capital open. If that is the case, then this entire season and this entire finale would just be one huge cliffhanger. Oh, no spoilers. Thank you very much. Let us see this episode again now. There we go. Right, the bridge is destroyed and we need to take the longer road. Although that never actually comes, that never actually becomes relevant, does it? They are never shown to actually like go around or be late for anything or anything like that. So I wonder if they are just shortening it compared to the source material, or I don't know. It's ultimately inconsequential, but just something I noticed. It's only a stone's throw away to the human kingdom. Yeah, that's how I expected it to go. That Vermilio and Helck arrive at Castle Urum. From the Castle Urum, they set off towards the human kingdom, and they punch their way through to the capital. Helck turns the king into mist, and that's where we end. So that at least one goal is accomplished, right? Mikaros is still around, Rafaed is still around, the threat is still around, but at least the king has been eliminated. Sure, now we have to deal with the fallout of the heroes rampaging, right? But it's a nice like closing spot. Nice way, nice place to finish this season on. But apparently not. Apparently not. Every day has been something new for me. After Azra hears about the situation with the human king from Thundabar, however, no matter what kind of a plan it is, consider us the only possible candidates for assassinating the king. Yeah, but I wonder if assassinating the king will actually be something that we still see in this season. It really doesn't seem to be the case. I already told you to stop shouldering all the burden alone. My powers actually do their best. Yeah. We are both in it together. Don't you dare lose. And if Helck was alone in all of it, he probably would have folded. He probably would have been manipulated easily by Rafaed, and he would have started rampaging already. Because it really wouldn't take much. It really wouldn't take much. But Rafaed, Mikaros, the king, assuming the king even has any mind of his own, but yeah, nobody on the human side accounted for Helck potentially finding other allies. Nobody accounted for that. let alone someone as powerful as Vermilio, because it would be one thing if Helck was traveling with Pee-wee, for example, with Pee-wee alone, and they grew close together. For Raphael, it would really not be a problem killing Pee-wee and having Helck rampage. It really wouldn't be hard. Vermilio, though, she's not going down easily. She's really not going down easily. And you probably won't be able to turn her into a hero either, assuming you still have even that power. Yeah, Vermilio really changes a lot. For the better, for Helck, right? Preparing quarters with oranges. Interesting. Most people in the Empire don't even know what they look like, or the other demon generals, let's just call them. Apparently it's only the Demon Lord that is the face of the Empire. The rest just works from the shadows. Interesting. The roof is badly hurt. And the humans are attacking. Yep. I really like it that multiple parties are able to come to the same conclusions. Right? Mikaros figured that, hey, Helck is the biggest obstacle on our path. How do we get rid of him? Well, we make him go berserk, we make him lose his mind so that he cannot consciously go and disrupt our plans. Sure, he's gonna be rampaging somewhere in the countryside, we're gonna throw a couple of heroes at him every now and then to keep him in place, but aside from that, we will be free to do as we want. Helck will be tied up with those endless battles, and our heroes never die, so we can send an endless supply after him. Right? And Vermilio came to the exact same conclusion. You very rarely see that, I noticed. Usually when someone makes a plan, the other party is completely unaware of it or thinks they are going for something else. Not in this case. Everybody knows that Helck is the biggest power in this whole battle, in this whole war. So whoever manages to incapacitate him, or whoever manages to have him be on their side, wins. I like it. I really like it because it shows that the characters in this show aren't stupid. They are able to figure things out on their own without having to resort to, I don't know, listening in on Mikaros somehow and figuring out the plan from that. No, she's able to come up with that plan herself. Helck can handle that without a problem. Yeah, probably. Hopefully. I mean, with Vermilio here, he probably will be able to. But we don't know for sure. The gate could have been fully completed back then, so the goal wasn't to just create a gate that leads to the capital to bring your forces in easily. The goal was to create a gate to the New World? Question mark? Probably, perhaps, maybe. Seems to be the case. Azadra left me in a pretty terrible shape. In that short span, he killed me more times than I can count. So it's not that he can regenerate endlessly as long as even a piece of him is left. It's that he can resurrect from even a piece of him left, which actually leaves me to wonder if Vermilio will have to be the one to kill Mikaros, because she can burn his body to the point where there is nothing, not a single bit left that he can revive from. Let's see. Vermilio needs to burn Mikaros to truly stop him. It really seems to be the case. Or rather, really seems to be the case. It's convenient that we have a really strong character with really strong fire magic against someone who can seemingly resurrect himself from just his eye existing. All that's needed is his eye and some scraps of flesh, and he can resurrect. So you need to leave nothing but ashes. Helck was sucked into the gate. There's one thing that I became sure of after reuniting with Helck: he is the biggest danger to our cause. This is interesting that Helck was tracked by Mikaros. It's interesting because I really thought that Rafaed got to learn about Helck's whereabouts from Asta, torturing Asta perhaps to get the information out of her. But no. What did become of Asta then? I've been getting the feeling that Rafaed doesn't necessarily want to be a part of this fight. He's just being opportunistic for the sake of his daughter, perhaps. Right? Like, he believes that Mikaros will win, and he wants to be on the winning side to provide whatever life his daughter can have in the state the world is in to her. If not for Shalami, he probably would have taken up arms against Mikaros. That's the vibe I'm getting. He also saved Asta, ultimately. So I wonder if perhaps he shot Asta and Shalami in the tower, again, both. Not actually, like, I don't know, imprisoning Asta or anything of the sort. I wonder if he's hiding that from Mikaros, because it really would seem that if they had Demon Spy, Mikaros would have mentioned it, but he didn't, which implies that he doesn't know about it. And even here, Rafaed offered Helck that, hey, you take your friends and go. I'm not gonna chase you. I'm gonna allow you to leave. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill your friends. I'm doing what I have to. Also, I just noticed that's Kushki, and he's very high up on the list of characters for some reason. Ahead of Edil, Mikaros, Kles, Azedra, Tothman King, Asta, Hura. He's like at the very top. The characters are sorted by relevance to the story, apparently, supposedly. Vermilio, Helck, Peewee, Alicia, Rafaed, Chupabra, Kushki, Tothman King, Chizuya Tenshu, Augis, only then Edil and Mikaros. I'll never understand this sorting algorithm they employ at Annulist, but there we go. Fire magic, yes, something that Rafaed did not account for. I thought it'd be more worn down by now, and he would have been, if not for the help of the demons. Yeah, I never would have made it this far without their help. You must have already realized there is an immense power lying dormant inside of you. So we want to make you rampage and withdraw. Yeah, this really seems like Rafaed has just given up. Right? It is what it is. That's how the world is going to look like. There's no stopping Mikaros. Might as well get as much as I can from it. Decent life for my daughter, right? decent life for myself. At least I can hope to survive. The good future that Helck wants, it will never come. So might as well try to make the best out of the situation we are in right now. Find somewhere cut off from the world where you can live out quiet lives. Yeah, the problem is, you cannot hope to live out quiet lives when the world itself is ending. Can you? If this was just a war on this continent or just a war against those two countries, sure. Absolutely. Go back to the island with the witch and live happily ever after there. Sure, no problem. Thing is, that's not Mikaros's goal. Mikaros's goal is not to conquer the demons. His goal is to conquer the demons so that he can get the barrier stones and use them to open gates to the new world and bring upon the end of this one. And there's no escaping from the end of the world. So we either fight and try to prevent the end of the world, try to stop Mikaros, or we go somewhere and cower, but for how long? How long do we have left until Mikaros gets what he wants? Right? It could very well be that by the time we arrive to the Witch's Island, the world has already ended. There's no telling. I'm not the only one fighting this fight anymore. Yep. The pain of fighting your former friends will prove unbearable by the immense power that lies inside. You probably haven't realized. No, Raphael, it's you who haven't realized that Vermilio isn't helpless. There is that rage slowly starting to overflow out of Helck, though. And if Vermilio was actually hurt, he would just go berserk. But thankfully, Vermilio is no slouch. She can hold her own, right? You've seen me survive far more than that. So don't you fucking focus on me. Don't you go berserking. Deal with your thing. I'm gonna deal with this champ. She snapped him back to normal in an instant. Yeah, that's the biggest threat that Vermilio poses, isn't it? Because it makes it implausible to make Helck go berserk as long as Vermilio is here. He just barely seems to be hanging on. Sure, I guess you could say it. You could say it that way. And with Alicia's arrival, yeah, that complicates things. We still have the hope that Edil also showed us, that Alicia could potentially break out from the king's mind control. However, Mikaros claims that he broke her mind, just like Mikaros broke the mind of Edil and made him attack Azedra. Because the thing they did, as far as I understand it, was they saw conscious heroes as a benefit. They are strong just as heroes are, but they aren't mindless. They can scheme, they can plan, they can use tactics, they can control armies, etc., etc. But the fact that their mind was left mostly intact also makes them prone to defecting. So, if I read it correctly, the mind breaking, it essentially takes away their agency and turns them into just those mass-produced, mind-controlled, mindless grunts. Except with a different design. I wonder if that's actually the thing, or is the mind still left inside and just only suppressed? Because if it is only suppressed, there would be no better no better way to wake Alicia up than meeting with Helck. On the other hand, I can fully see a different situation happen. Alicia is actually mind controlled and cannot actually be saved. But Helck grew stronger mentally, and he is able to finally let go. Finally let go of Alicia and end her misery with a smile like he promised. He didn't kill Alicia at first out of his own selfishness, out of his own belief that it can still be reverted. If it cannot be reverted, will he actually follow through with what Alicia initially wanted? I can see that being the case. I can see it happening. I can actually see it happening. Helck kills Alicia with a smile, letting her go. Yeah. It's also entirely plausible. Sad, bittersweet at best, but entirely plausible. It's actually very interesting. I noticed how they juggle hope here, right? Oh, Edil is sane again. He can enjoy. Oh, fuck. Mikaros broke his mind. But there's hope that others can reject the mind. Oh, yeah, she's also mind broken. Right? The endless roller coaster of hope and despair, hope and despair. It's cool. It creates some emotions, it creates some feelings. I just hope that ultimately it ends well. Whatever ending well entails in this case. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Good episode. Good episode. Really did not go where I expected it to go. I fully expected the finale to be, so to speak, bigger. Meaning the fight in the capital, right? Or the assassination of the king, or something along those lines. But it seems like the finale will be the fight with Alicia and Rafaed. Now, sure, potentially getting rid of one of the three masterminds of this plan would be good. Getting rid of Rafaed, because that also makes Shalami harder to control. But I really expected either Mikaros or the king to be the first one to go down. Mostly the king, because Mikaros really seems like the biggest whatchamacallit, the biggest mastermind here. Even if we were to kill Rafaed, if we were to kill the king, Mikaros would still find some way to meddle, would still not let go of his goal of bringing upon the new world. He would wait for another 1,000 of years, if need be, and he would try again. So it really seems like, ultimately, Rafaed and the king are just grunts, are just tools for Mikaros, and Mikaros is the one who needs to be taken down. Yeah, interesting. What's the most... I mean, I'm just trying to predict the future here, so... but yeah, I can see this season ending with Mikaros down and Alicia matter resolved in whatever way it is resolved. But that would still not leave us with a good ending. Castle Urum is in rubbles. Azura is probably dead. Edil is rampaging. We are no closer to stopping Mikaros than we already were. Right? It really feels like this season will end with one huge cliffhanger. And I can only hope that more seasons will be made. I can only hope. Anything else I want to see about it? I want to say about this episode? I wonder. No, I think that's it. I think I said everything I wanted to say. I talked about Raphael potentially being the king's and Mikaros's ally because he must, because he's an opportunist like that. I mentioned Vermilio being the big variable that nobody accounted for. Asta is also a very big variable. What kind of influence will she have on Shalami? Then again, Shalami's powers aren't really needed anymore, are they? Every single human being has already been turned into a hero, so her snow isn't really necessary anymore. Yeah, I really cannot see the next episode being in any way conclusive. Besides being a conclusion to Raphael and Alicia, but besides that, there's much more. There's much more work to be done. Also, very interesting how this show, from a certain point, just kind of lost the arc structure, kind of, sorta. No, that doesn't sound right. What I mean is that very often arcs have their own like conclusion, right? An arc concludes and hooray, everything is good, everything is awesome, and then the next episode something bad happens again and we start another arc, and then we defeat the big bad of the next arc and everything is good, everything is awesome, we can have a break on a beach episode or hot springs episode, and then oh no, something happens, another arc begins, right? That's very common structure. Not so much in case of Helck. The overarching story is strong enough to kind of overshadow the smaller arcs. Again, usually the overarching story is somewhere in the background, and sometimes we might tap into it in a couple of places in each arc, but there are just separate arcs that deal with the overarching story, and besides that, the rest of the arcs are mostly separate. Not so much in case of Helck. The overarching story that goes throughout those 24 episodes and beyond is really strongly established. And all of the arcs happening are still within the context of that overarching story. Cool. That's really cool. I really enjoy this show. And again, I hope for future seasons. I really hope for future seasons. If not, I guess I'm gonna have to read the manga. But I would really not want to get ahead of the anime only for the season 2 to be announced, and shit, I read the manga, I know what's gonna happen, do I even watch the anime, right? So yeah, I think I'm gonna wait a year or two, and if there's no announcement of season 2, then I'm gonna start reading the manga, maybe. We'll see. We'll see all about it. Right now, I think that's gonna be it from me, but maybe you guys have something more to add. If so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future releases of not only Helck, but also Magia Record, Shy, Shangri-La Frontier, Shield Hero, and plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube. On Patreon, for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. On YouTube, you can also support me directly down below via memberships, super thanks, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Jacob Survivor, Zayrainer, Aquamaster, Dr. Watt, March, Shikala, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to fight Rafaed, I don't know.